Attorney General to review federal legislation to determine if it undermines states' rights and the individual constitutional rights of you as Colorado citizens. And here's the problem with the legislation passed last week. You know, we have become so accustomed to the pervasive nature of federal influence in our society that there's too many Americans that don't remember that everything the federal government does has to be based on an enumerated power in the United States Constitution. And the document specifically provides that if a particular power is not given to the government, federal government, in the Constitution, it's reserved to the states and the people. One such enumerated power that's been the basis of a lot of federal influence in our lives is the Commerce Clause. Of course, you know there's no health care clause, right? There's a Commerce Clause, which says simply, Congress may regulate commerce among the various states, the several states. It started out, if you read the Federalist Papers, James Madison said that the purpose of the Commerce Clause was to prevent the states from raising trade barriers between each other. Of course, over time, it's been broadly construed to the point that if you engage in an economic activity that influences or is affected by interstate commerce, you can be subject to congressional regulation. That's where the civil rights statutes come from. If you have a hotel or a restaurant and cater to interstate commerce, you're subject to federal regulation. It's come to the point that even if you're engaged in an economic activity within your state that impacts interstate commerce, Congress can regulate you. But ladies and gentlemen, never before in our history has the federal government attempted to regulate your economic inactivity, your failure to participate in the marketplace. And if this legislation is allowed to stand and the federal government can force you to buy any product or service they think is good for you, then there is no limit to the federal government's control over your individual economic decision making. They can make you buy the car they want. They can make you eat the food, buy the food they want. To show you how unprecedented this is, let me just read you something that the Congressional Budget Office has been saying to Congress each and every time they consider an individual health care mandate, and they've been saying it since 1994. A mandate requiring all individuals to purchase health insurance is an unprecedented form of federal action. The federal government has never before required people to buy any good or service as a condition of lawful residence in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is very important in terms of the government's control over our lives. It has immense ramifications for your future, the future of your children and grandchildren and generations of Americans to come. And I hope you agree with me that this is a fight well worth fighting. Thank you.